Art of Worldly Wisdom.
Chapter 12. The Raw and the Polished. Nature is the material, art the workmanship. Beauty does not exist until artisanship makes it so. There is no excellence that would not quickly sink into the barbaric when no longer held aloft by artifice. Art remedies the bad and perfects the good. Nature abandons us to chance and necessity. Our only recourse to rise above is art. Without artifice, the best in nature is left raw, and no excellence is possible when left unimproved. Every man and woman, no matter their ambition or talent, are fools until sculpted and polished. So many times in my life have I felt the sting of criticism. And not only criticism, worse, failure. Failure is a kind of criticism. It's criticism of, life, telling you that you're not good enough. And I've just felt that so often and so much, and it's just, every time it's the same. It's crushing. It's depressing, and you just want to curl up and die. And everyone is like that. There are people out there who appear to be able to brush off defeat and failure and criticism and disinterest. But of course, inside they're dying. And it's really, really painful. But I've been through it enough to realize that it's actually painful but good. I'm a writer. So when I write, my entire heart and soul goes into it. And this thing that I've written, because I see myself reflected in it, I think, oh, it's really great. Everyone's going to understand this. Everyone's going to love it. I understand. I love it. So why wouldn't everyone else? It's a great, it works. And then I give it to someone and they just say, I couldn't get through it. It wasn't interesting. It was a little bit boring. There was too much stuff about this and that. And there was no excitement in it. There was nothing that related to me. I'm sorry. And they don't mean to be critical or disinterested or bored, but they are. And one time someone said that to me, and my girlfriend said, you know what's happening? And I said, I'm being crushed and defeated by the world and everyone hates me? And she said, no, you're being sculpted. And that was interesting. This image of a block of granite and the sculptor chiseling away at it. This part you don't need, this part you don't need, that is superficial, that looks stupid, and chunk for chunk it's getting up. It's got to hurt the rock. Well, when I'm inside that rock and the unnecessary parts, the irrelevant parts, the bad parts, the boring parts, the unsuccessful parts are being chiseled away by this knife and hammer being driven in, that hurts. But when it's over, you have the finished sculptor. You have all the junk is gone, and you have that good-looking thing inside the finished product. And that's what's happening to you. And so when you're looking for success, you're building up a business, you're developing a product, you're writing a book, you are trying to, make a career in your job, and you have these setbacks, you have the failures, you have the little defeats. That's the hammer chiseling away at you, trying to get through all the junk and discard all the crap and get to the real, perfect, successful, well done, well crafted product, business, career, human being inside. I have a tip for you. It's a tip from writing. It's a tip that writers learn when they give their works, their stories, their books to someone else to read. And the person reads it and they have criticism. Yeah, I hate that when that happens. Often, when people criticize my books, and every writer does this, a defense mechanism comes up and he says, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's the wrong audience for the book. And we talk ourselves into ignoring their criticism. But that's a mistake, because all criticism comes from a place of truth somewhere, some little dark place inside. There is some kind of truth. The person giving the criticism may not know what it is exactly. He may understand it wrongly. He may be the wrong audience for the book or for the product, whatever. But listen to the criticism. And as a writer, you learn to do it in a certain way. You listen to the criticism, but you ignore the solution. Because he's not a writer. The guy who's reading the book is not a writer, doesn't know how a book works and how it functions and how to write it. So you are developing the book, the product, the business. You understand what's going on and how it works. But the audience only understands how they perceive it. And they can only tell you how they felt when they saw it, when they read the book or when they saw the product, how they reacted. They felt maybe somehow uncomfortable. Maybe they can't really explain how they felt, but there was something in them that rejected it, or that at least was bored or disinterested in the product. Listen to that. Listen to what they say, how they reacted to it. And then they'll say, well, maybe if you made, longer sentences or shorter sentences, right? They'll have some solution, but the solution is usually useless. Sometimes it's good. Usually it's useless. The important part is the criticism, how they felt and perceived your product or you or your business idea or whatever. You will make the best out of the criticism that comes, out of the defeat that comes, out of the failure that comes, out of the disinterest that you meet on your way to success. And with every wham of that chisel digging into you and hurting like hell, you will get a little bit closer to success. I wish you all the success in the world.